Today, I introduce you to the Beast. The Beast is a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500. It's been in our family probably about 20 some odd years. It turns 25 years old next year. It's just a little rough around the edges, but needs some work. I decided to keep it because it's been in the family for a long time. It's kind of got some sentimental value to me. This was my stepdad's truck. And he gave it to my brother when my brother needed transportation. And a few years ago, my nephew needed transportation, so I bought it off my brother and gave it to my nephew for a while. And then he decided to get another vehicle. And instead of trading it in, I told my wife, hey, I want to buy the Beast back and try to fix her up. So that is what I am doing. It's funny how cars, trucks, kind of inanimate objects kind of take a life of their own, and they, have that sentimental value that you don't normally have for, other things, utilitarian things. But sometimes cars and trucks can pull your heartstrings. That's what this truck is. Very basic, single cab, short bed. It has the V6 engine in it, and ultimately the plan is to try to drop a V8 in it, likely a 5.9 liter. I need to find a donor engine, fix up the interior, put a little paint, some lipstick and rouge, and get this get the Beast and turn it into a beauty. So that's my plan. My wife is very supportive and gracious enough to let me take on this project. Apologize for all the wind noise. The windbreaker is not on the GoPro, so you will likely hear a lot of wind noise. I have to ride with the windows down. Here in Texas, it's hot, and there is no AC, so I have to repair that. Lots of things to do on this truck. So first order is to get the broken windshield repaired. That happens on Saturday, tomorrow. Then I need to get the HVAC running. And as I go through this, I'm going to take you along for that ride. I am not a professional mechanic. I'm just a dude in a garage working on a truck. I have a couple other projects that I'll introduce you to later. But generally, I have an average mechanical ability, so nothing special. So we'll be going through this truck slowly but surely. This is not going to be one of those super fast 7-day renovations, resto mod trucks that you see. This will probably take about a year or so. At least that's my goal. It may take a little bit longer. This truck is really solid from a body standpoint. It's got a few dings and dents here and there, but for the most part, there is no rust on this vehicle. It was largely a Texas truck. It did spend several years in Louisiana sitting outside. The paint is terrible. The body did not rust out, even though it was on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana. So we have a pretty solid foundation to work from. Again, mechanically, there are some things to be fixed and updated. I just recently got it inspected. It was coming up on its inspection, and of course a check engine light comes on right as I need to get it inspected. So I scrambled around, did some research. I got a code reader and read the codes on it, and I had a large evap leak somewhere in the system. So by process of elimination, I said, let's start with the easiest thing first. And the first thing I did was go through and take a look at all the hoses, because that seems to be a common failing point. Again, 2001 Dodge had terrible plastics, terrible rubber. What I ended up finding was that in the evap canister under the passenger side bed of the truck is an evap canister, and there is a 90-degree rubber fitting that had just completely disintegrated, and that's where the large leak was coming from. So went on YouTube, grabbed some information, did a little bit of research, and found that you could replace it with a plastic T because it's a 2-in-1 90-degree elbow that goes into the evap canister. I repaired that, reset the codes. Everything has been hunky-dory since, and basically got the truck inspected, so I'm now legal to go back on the road. Not put my inspection sticker on the windshield yet because, again, the windshield is cracked about 2/3 of the way across, so need to get that fixed, and I'll put that sticker on tomorrow after the Safe Light guy comes out and replaces the windshield. Looking forward to having a windshield I can actually see through. The crack is pretty extensive, but one of the biggest problems with this glass is at some point it has wear marks in it, where the windshield wipers have just eroded the glass over time. So anytime there's glare at night, it's hard to see when you have cars coming toward you. So definitely looking forward to getting that replaced. So that's kind of the first thing, other than the evap canister, that I've really replaced. Now I take that back. When we first got it, I drove this truck about 2.5 hours from Lake Charles, actually 4.5 hours from Lake Charles, Louisiana, where my brother lived. It did have a leaking radiator. I had to stop and put some stop leak in the radiator just to get home. Kind of repaired that. It did, again, another leak. And I repaired that with JB Weld, high temp JB Weld, which opened up another leak. So ultimately replaced the radiator with a new unit, which was fun. My nephew and I did that. We replaced the shocks all around, and we placed the front brake pads and rotors. So the V6 is really kind of smooth until you try to get on it, and then it screams. The transmission is a 4-speed, and in the middle range, I think like 2nd to 3rd or 3rd to 4th. I think it's 2nd to 3rd. If you get on it, it shifts kind of hard, so I try not to do that with this transmission. Dodge at this for this generation Ram, Dodge really didn't have a good reputation for transmissions, that's for sure. Most of the donor trucks I look at, the common occurrence is the transmission is out. I also have a slight oil leak from this motor, and I can't tell. It could either be the oil pan, or which also, from what I understand, is pretty common, is rear main seal leaks. Could be that as well. It's really tight. The V6 is pushed back against the firewall, so you can't really see back there, even under the truck. You kind of have to cruise around under there and try to see if you can see up in there, but it's not really helpful. I looked, but definitely a trip from the back of the motor, back of the pan area. When I'm turning, you may see a cross swinging into view. My stepdad put that in here. It's been in here probably as long as we've owned the truck. One of his main stipulations when he gave it to my brother was that the cross had to stay in the truck. So I feel like I'm kind of riding along with him a little bit. I told the same thing to my nephew. Hey, look, you know, Benny put this in here, and the cross needs to stay with the truck. So when I got it back, the cross was still in the truck. Some things just bring a smile to your face. I know I said I was thinking about putting a console in here, but one of the things about having kind of this bench seat arrangement with a jump seat in the middle, so you can get your honey right up next to you. Or your furry friend. I took Rango, my dog, for a ride the other day, and he came sat right next to me on the little jump seat. So with a console, I won't have that. I don't know, maybe I'll keep a jump seat arrangement. I will say the seats in this truck they're okay. Very basic seats. They called them buckets at the time. These are not bucket seats. At least not what I think of when say bucket seat. They are not comfortable for a long ride. It's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about replacing the seats with something from a newer model. If I do the Resto Mod thing, I might want to do seats from like a Scat Pack Challenger, something along those lines. Would like to do a leather interior. Doing stuff like that, though, you know, takes time and money. You know, and again, this is not something that I'm doing just to get from A to B. It's kind of a long-term project. I've always wanted to do something like this. There's a lot of sentimental reasons that I'm into this truck. Also, I like the second-gen body style. When this body style first came out, man, it was kind of a home run. Dodge really did a good job of making a very unique looking truck based on this body style. Really cool. Have little rattles and squeaks. This truck was came with side steps. They were the Bully, I want to say they're Bully brand tube Nerf bars, little step Nerf bar things. The one on the right side is just barely hanging on. Every time I hit a bump, it squeaks and rattles, and I can hear it over there vibrating. So definitely need to get that off. I'll probably do that this weekend. It's mounted via the body mounts, so if those bolts are loose, I don't want to lose those. I need to get after that. I will likely do that this weekend. Again, this is just test footage, just kind of my thoughts on things. I may or may not use this. I may re-record it. Again, just kind of a practice video to get the GoPro set up and get the angles right. See what it sounds like with the mic and the camera. The GoPro 8 doesn't have the ability to use an external mic. There is a media mod for GoPro 8, but I've looked everywhere and I cannot find one of those. And the one I did find was used. It was $99, and that is not happening. So maybe I'll upgrade to a different GoPro, like a 12 or something. There's a sale on those right now. But all right, well, thanks for riding along.